Hey guys, it is early in the morning and I thought I would hop over with a coffee. Since it's like still pretty early, I had a dream. I'm not going to tell you it was a crazy dream, but one part of it is that I dyed my hair yellow, like electric yellow. So since basically all of the pink is washed out, I think I'm going to like re-dye it pink again. But I don't know, let me know if there's like a color I should go for. I've never dyed my hair like blue or green or yellow, or basically any color. Like I've done pink and purple, and that's about as exciting as I've gone. So let me know in the comments if you think I should do something more exciting. Pink or purple. Pink or purple, that's exciting too. What am I saying? Anyway, I have a list because I'm using my phone to record this video. So I cannot look at my Spotify on my phone. However, I have a list in front of me on paper of my top 10 most listened to songs on Spotify right now. So I like Spotify, I might as well be a spokesperson for them. But one, like, they have a lot of cool playlists and functions. So one of the playlists they do, for those of you who don't have it, is they have this like ever evolving playlist of the songs that you're listening to the most at any given moment. And it changes like all the time. So if you start listening to something else, it's gonna like inch its way up your list, and it goes in order. So your number one song on this list is the one that you listen to the most, and then it kind of like goes from there. So yeah, it gives you an interesting snapshot of your musical preferences at any given moment, and yeah. So I just figured it'd be fun to share, talk about music because I like music, obviously, and I know a lot of people like music too. So let me know what music that you're listening to as well, because I always like getting recommends from other people, like music recommends and stuff. I like when people share music with me because otherwise, I don't know. I don't usually seek it out unless it's usually for, it's like books. It's like if I'm listening to it or reading it, it's because someone else told me to, and that's usually how I find it. So I'm gonna just go in order. So we're gonna go from like my most listened. I don't know. Is that exciting to start from like number one and go start with number one? Why not? Let's just like hit the exciting one first. Um, so Growing Old is Getting Old by Silversun Pickups is my number one most listened to on Spotify, and it has been mostly in that number one position since February. So in February, I had a really potent and memorable trip to Austin, Texas, where I used to live for a little bit. So it was a great way to reconnect with old friends, but I also went and saw Silversun Pickups live, and they performed that song, and I just remember a moment listening to that song, being in the crowd of wonderful people, and the sky was gray. It was like barely raining a little bit. It was almost dark. Just being outside in the air in like a place that was so nostalgic and wonderful and familiar to me. It was just like the song became the moment. So the reason that I've listened to Growing Old is Getting Old so many times is because every time I hear it, I am there. I am like in Austin in February, the last COVID trip, pre-COVID trip. That was like right when everything was just barely starting. And it just has like a large amount of sentimental value for me. So another one, and the number two one is also super sentimental, but it's a lot more recent, is called The Breach by Dustin Tebbutt. And I'll list these out in the description later if you guys want to list. This is a song that used to be on like my yoga playlist, and I listened to it recently when I was having a really interesting day. And it's like with Growing Old is Getting Old, it's just kind of like attached. So now every time I hear it, it makes me feel this like very specific way, which I find really like it just kind of like opens up my spirit a little bit. It gets me more in the moment, and makes me feel more like myself. So I like listening to that song a lot for that reason. And then number three is a Kings of Leon song called Find Me. I got obsessed with it, I think, like a few months ago. It's just like, I don't know, every time it comes up, I never skip it. Number four is Delete Forever by Grimes. And this is just like, oh, I love this song. Grimes is cool. Grimes is okay. But I have to be in a very specific mood to listen to Grimes. But Delete Forever is like pretty poppy. The production is really beautiful. I think someone on her YouTube music video, which is a really cool music video, said something like it's like Grimes invented space country with with this song. So I think that was probably the best way to describe it. You're gonna see Silversun Pickups on this list. So number five is Panic Switch, which is one of their most famous songs. Really like it's got that like that awesome bass line. Ba dum da dum ba 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 bum bum ba. I can't sing it, but anyway, really cool song. And then we're going in a totally random direction here with number six is a Tove Lo song called WTF Love Is. I had no idea I was listening to this song so much. I don't like it's not been in my conscious memory, like, oh, let's keep replaying this, but maybe it comes up a lot and I just don't skip it. Tove Lo is good though. She's a little bit of a guilty pleasure listen for me. Great production value. She's a strong singer. I mean, it depends what you're looking for in music because the songwriting is solid. But you know, the lyrical content and stuff is maybe not as sophisticated as some of the other music I listen to. But either way, good music to play in the car really loudly. I like all kinds of music. Number 7 is a Half Moon Run song, and it's called Need It. I've learned how to play this one on the piano and sing it, so that's probably why it's coming in the top 10, because I would have re-listened to it a bunch of times as I was learning it. Half Moon Run is great. They're super tight. They're like a really good Canadian band if you've never heard of them. Check them out. I've seen them live too. Their live show is amazing. Like, blew me out of the park. Is that an expression? Out of the water? Blew me out of the water? Knocked me out of the park there. I was like cross-pollinating my metaphors there. Okay. And my number 8 and number 11 is I got into Kurt Weill recently. I used to listen to him way back in the day, but there's something about Kurt Weill. He has a very nostalgic sound. It's very like singer-songwriter, acoustic guitar, but he's got like a sense of humor, but his music is really introspective as well and just has like a vibe. So if I throw on a Kurt Weill album, like, so I Believe I'm Going Down is one where Pretty Pimpin's from. Pretty Pimpin is like his main song, which has some pretty great lyrics overall. I recommend you check that one out. I also have Bassackwards on my, that's my number 11 one. Great song. It's super long. But again, it's got this it's like this laid back introspective mood. So it's not laid back like I'm like smiling hunky dory on a Sunday. It's more like I just want to like think on a Sunday, but feel like pretty okay. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but Kurt Weill, check him out if you haven't. And actually, another one that didn't quite make the cut, but I want to recommend also, is an artist called Fink. Who, again, I'll just like throw on an album if I just want to be like in a particular kind of more mellow headspace. Also really introspective lyrics, but a lot, I would say like a lot darker and a little bit more like pop sharpness than Kurt Weill. Kurt Weill has kind of this like ambling improvisational sound, whereas Fink sounds a lot more deliberate. But Looking Too Closely is a really lovely song. I like it a lot, so I wanted to throw that one out there. Number 9 is Preach by Daniel Johns. Now, I used to love Silverchair. They used to be one of my top 3 favorite bands of all time. I'm talking like Neon Ballroom era Silverchair was pretty good, but I'm talking more like Diorama and Young Modern era Silverchair. It was like so hyped for Daniel Johns. I thought he was the coolest. And I kind of forgot they existed for the last, I don't know, like decade. But apparently Daniel Johns made an album, like a solo album a few years ago, which is actually like pretty good. Like it's pop. It surprised me because he's similar in age to I am. I think he's a few years older than I am, but he still manages to stay, like, he feels fresh. Like the album feels fresh. It doesn't feel like an old washed up rock star, like, you know, reliving the glory days or something. I do like that. But he has a song on the album called Preach, and it feels really intimate and confessional, and it's got like a good groove to it. So I guess I've been listening to that a lot according to Spotify. And then to finish is another Silversun pickup song called Kissing Families, which is like my favorite song of all time if I had to pick one. Actually, if I had to pick a favorite song of all time, I don't know what the top 3 would be, but top 2, definitely Kissing Families by Silverchair Pickups. The guitar, oh my god. Every time I listen to that song, it just like crushes me in the best way. There's like this really beautiful guitar line that comes in and out sometimes, and I have to like stop and just focus and just listen because it's so beautiful. Just something about it. It just it's kind of like when I was talking about number 2 with Dustin, Tebbutt, The Breach. It just makes me feel like alive again. It opens me up and reminds me that I am alive and like puts me back in my body. I actually have a very similar experience with Pyramid song by Radiohead, which doesn't appear on this list, but I assure you have listened to it a lot lately. It just makes me feel very like crystallized, and there's something about that song that's just so potent. But yeah, where was I going? Oh yeah, top 3 favorite songs. So Kissing Families definitely. Also, Everlong by Foo Fighters will always have a very near and dear place in my heart. The music video is great. I really like the acoustic version. for like hitting me in the feels. But that's a great song. And then yeah, probably something Radiohead if I was to throw it in there. Like yeah, Pyramid Song's as good a candidate as any. So anyway, that's what I've been listening to lately. Let me know in the comments also, like I mentioned earlier, what you've been listening to because I love getting recommendations from other people. And I'll write out my list in the description right after I upload this video. So thanks for joining me this morning. I always like talking about music with you guys. Sorry, my hand's getting in the way. And I'll catch you tomorrow.